Hello, got a wee story for you. This one, again, from this book by Tim Porteous. This story is called The Ghost of Innerwick. One moonlit evening, many years ago, the minister of Innerwick, who was called the Reverend Ogilvy, was riding home from nearby Thurston. His horse walked slowly, taking care in the dim light of the moon. These were the days before streetlights or electricity, so the moon gave the only light. Then, the minister thought he heard something behind him in the darkness. He stopped and turned around. "Who's there?" he called out. But there was no answer. So he reckoned he imagined it, and he continued on his journey. He heard it again. It was the sound of hooves, so he realised it must be someone on a horse. The minister thought a robber was following him, so he stopped and turned to face whoever it was. "Who's there? Answer me at once," he called out, trying to sound brave, although he was secretly scared. A dark shadow was moving towards him, and as it got closer, Ogilvy could make out the dark shape of a man on a horse. "Who are you, and why are you following me?" he demanded. "I am the Laird of Goole," said the shadowy man, "and I need your help." The minister knew this couldn't be the Laird of Goole because he'd recently died. If this was a robber, he was going to teach him a lesson. "Oh, really? Come closer then, so I may see you," said the minister. His hand gripped the stick tightly, ready for action. When the man came within reach, the minister swung his stick at him with all his might. He hoped to hit him so hard that he would fall off his horse. But instead of giving him a good whack, his stick just went right through the man's body. It was as if there was nothing there. The man just laughed at him. Ogilvy looked at the man more closely. In the moonlight, he could see that the man's face was deathly pale. But then Ogilvy's face went pale as well. He realised this man was a spectre, for he could actually see right through him. With a trembling voice, he said, "You're a ghost. What do you want with me?" The ghost grinned, then leered at him and spoke. "Yes, I am a ghost. I come from the land of the unhappy dead, the place you call hell, and I need your help. I know you are a good man. I've been watching you." This sent shivers down the minister's spine. "How can I help you if you are in hell? And what do you mean you have been watching me?" said the minister, who now couldn't hide the fact he was scared. "I need you to pass on some information to my wife," said the ghost, "and then I will stop haunting you." But before the ghost had finished speaking, the minister was off, galloping in the darkness towards Innerwick. But when the minister arrived at the village, the ghost was already there, waiting for him in a lane by the churchyard. The ghost floated off his horse and walked up to the now utterly terrified minister. "I can see that you're in distress, so I will leave you tonight," said the ghost. Ogilvy sighed with relief, but then the ghost loomed into his face and said, "But I will return and seek my favour." The ghost turned and walked down the lane to some steps leading up to the graveyard. As the ghost drifted up the steps, it vanished with a dreadful wailing and howling noise. Both the ghost and his ghostly horse were now gone, but the minister was shaking. He stumbled into his house, looking pale and dazed. "Are you all right, dear?" asked his wife. "You look like you've seen a ghost." He dared not tell her that he actually had. Instead, he went straight to bed and said his prayers many times over. In the morning, with the sun shining and the birds singing, it all seemed like a bad dream. He told himself that he must have imagined it, and so tried to forget all about it. Days went by, and there was no sign of the ghost, and so he stopped thinking about it. But 2 weeks later, Ogilvy was called to a place called Harehead to baptise a shepherd's child. He stayed there longer than planned, and by the time he set off for home, it was dark. Once again, it was a moonlit night, and to keep his spirits up, Ogilvy whistled to himself as he rode home. He reached Innerwick without seeing the ghost and was relieved. "See," he said to himself, "no such thing as ghosts." "Talking to yourself, Minister, are you?" said a voice in the darkness. Ogilvy just about jumped out his skin with fright. He turned round and saw the ghost sitting on the steps by the graveyard. "Can you not leave me alone?" pleaded the minister. This time he wasn't so much afraid by the ghost as annoyed by it. "I will leave you alone once you have helped me," said the ghost. Then the minister had an idea. This was a great opportunity to find out what the afterlife was really like. "I will think about helping you if you answer my questions first," he said. The ghost thought for a moment, then agreed. So the minister asked lots of questions about what it was like being a ghost. He discovered that the ghost could travel from one place to another place in the blink of an eye, that people could only see him in moonlight, and that the horse he was riding was in fact the ghost of a man called Andrew Johnston. Then the minister asked the question he wanted to know the answer to most of all. What is hell like? The ghost let out a spine-chilling wail as if it was in pain. "In hell, everyone suffers from a terrible conscience," he said. "It's unbearable. We are haunted by the awful deeds we have done in life. We cannot escape the guilt and despair, which is why I need your help." The meeting ended and the ghost disappeared. Although the minister felt sorry for the ghost, he wondered what terrible things he'd done in his life to be sent to hell in the first place. That would be his next question when he saw him again. And a month went by before the ghost appeared again. This time the minister was returning from Old Hamstocks, an old village not far from Innerwick. As before, the ghost was waiting for him by the graveyard steps. "So, my last question is this. What did you do to be sent to hell?" asked the minister. "Was it murder?" The ghost seemed to be in pain as he remembered his earthly life. "I did not murder anyone, but I was a cheat and a liar," he said. "I made a fortune stealing people's money. I completely ruined the lives of so many people, and I didn't care about the suffering I caused. But now my conscience burns inside me. Please, I beg you to go to my wife and tell her all this. She's enough money to pay back everything that I stole from people. That will ease my conscience." The ghost then told the minister the names of all the people he had stolen from. "But why can't you tell your wife yourself?" asked the minister. "I just can't," replied the ghost. Please, just help me, please." The minister could see that the ghost was desperate to rid himself of the guilt and make amends for the wrong he had done. But he had bad news for the ghost. "Your wife would not believe me. And besides, you are now in hell for a reason," the minister said. "I feel sorry for you, but I cannot help you." The ghost put his face into his hands and wailed like a baby. Then he begged, "Have you never done anything that you've regretted? Surely I deserve a second chance." "You will have had many second chances while you lived, but now you're dead and your soul is in hell because you failed to take the second chances when you had them. It is, I'm afraid, too late. I cannot help you. If you will not help me, then I will find someone else to do so," said the ghost, and he floated back to the steps by the graveyard and vanished. Soon after this, the minister himself was dead. We will never know why, or if he himself managed to avoid hell. He died before he had told anyone about the meetings with the ghost. He hadn't even told his wife. The question is, if he told nobody about the ghost, how do we know the story today? The answer is that the minister kept a secret diary in which he described the meetings with the ghost. The diary was found in his desk after he died. That's how we know. But it's not the end of the story, for the ghost of the Laird of Cool may still haunt Innerwick. We've been told of strange sightings in the lane by the graveyard close to the steps. The ghost may still be trapped in the land of the unhappy dead, looking for help. So best not wander along that lane in the dark, especially on a moonlit night. Definitely do not go near the steps which lead to the graveyard at the end of the lane. Otherwise, the next person the ghost might follow will be you. So, Ghost of Innerwick. Hope you enjoyed that. Once again, from this awesome book. Cheers.